Call Allah Yahweh, BHM Yahweh Shai, BHM Kakadash, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai Mashiach, Brakatah Yasharala, Brakatah Yahweh, call Allah, Halawayah, Shalom, Shalom. Double honor to the apostle nails a great millstone, pushing and teaching this truth with sincerity, and overseeing the construction of the tabernacle of David, a more perfect tabernacle. Shalom to Yakin Wal Bafian scattered abroad. Shalom to the civil believers. This is Yahweh Sop by Yasharala by Yahweh, coming to you live through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shem Yashar. Give you another quick lesson. I'm just gonna go out and say it. Black History Month is an insult. Black History Month is a joke. A cruel joke at that. Let me take my seatbelt off. But yeah, man. I've always detested with a great passion. I've always hated Black History Month because it's a slap in the face for all the so-called African Americans. It's a slap in the face for our extensive history to be limited to just 1 month. Only 1 month out of the year do people designate to learn about their history. And that's what's the biggest problem with the so-called African American is we want to procrastinate so long and wait to the very last moment to do anything. We want to wait till 1 day out of the year to get around our family. We want to wait 1 day out of the year to love ourselves and to actually treat ourselves kindly, and that's our birthday, which is idolatry. Celebrating your birthday is idolatry. That's self-worship. That's wickedness. We want to wait till the last minute to turn that assignment in. We want to wait till the last minute to pay our bills. We want to wait till the last minute to do anything, and that's what's wrong with our people. We don't have foresight or hindsight. That's why we keep getting in this fucked up predicament where we keep getting finessed by the so-called politicians, thinking that they're gonna save us. Thinking that they're gonna do something the right by the so-called African American community. That's why we keep getting finessed by these so-called celebrities who are sellouts. But that's why we keep getting finessed by these people. Some of these people we be getting finessed by that. All they have to do is play the black card, and we're just willing to do whatever they want to do. And it's sad. We lack hindsight and we lack foresight, meaning we lack the ability to see in the past and we lack the ability to see in the future. And that's pretty much it, man. Black History Month is a joke because they've limited our history to only 1 month, and then on top of that, they don't even teach you anything. It's the same stuff every year. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, and a couple other people in there. But there's so much history beyond that. Way beyond that. This Bible is our history. Like nobody's ever sat down and realized, where were colored people before we were so-called taken from Africa? What were we doing before then? Nobody has a clue. And it's not, don't come up with that whole Egyptology comedic studies BS, because that's BS. The so-called African American didn't come from the Nile Valley River. We came from the Middle Eastern area. Yes, we came out of Egypt. But we're not Egyptian. We came out of Egypt. We were someplace before we went into Egypt. And that's the problem right there. We lack understanding. We don't even fact check things. We just take it for face value. And that's why we're getting finessed right now by Jim Crow Joe Butthead. You know what I'm saying? As one of the elders put it, Joe Butthead. That's why he's finessing us, because we lack hindsight and foresight. This Jeremiah chapter 6 verse 16. Thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths. The old paths, that's talking about our old law, how we used to do things, following the law, statutes, and commandments, our Hebraic customs, our Hebraic traditions, our high holy days, our language, the old paths, what we used to do. And see and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, the profitable way, the way to life and not death. That's where everything goes wrong at. When you assimilate into somebody else's culture, that's when you lose your own identity and become what that culture is. That's why it's so easy for we get taken advantage of by this political system, because we assimilated into the political system, not understanding that it wasn't created for us. We assimilated into it, then we assimilated into the cultural identity of the Western philosophy, and that's where we went off at. Where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But check this. But they said, we will not walk therein. That's because our people are retarded. There's no other word for it. We're retarded. We keep thinking the same stuff gonna work. We keep thinking that voting is gonna work. That's the definition of insanity, is trying the same thing over again and expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity. And that just goes back to the curses of Deuteronomy. Because we lack hindsight and foresight. There's a saying that you gotta know where you've been to know where you're going. And if ain't nothing good ever came out of this country for us so-called African Americans being here, ain't nothing good gonna happen in the future. The white man is your enemy. He is trying to destroy you. He's trying to destroy you physically, financially, mentally, spiritually. He's trying to take you out any way he can. That's why he wages war on us throughout many fronts, and we just don't understand it. With GMO foods, biological warfare, chemtrails in the air, financial warfare, differences in between pay, differences in between job opportunities, differences in between educational standards and educational practices. He wages warfare on us on many different fronts. Like, that's why we can't recognize it, because we getting hit from so many damn directions. We can't see. We don't even know what's going on, because we getting our ass tore up from every side. So there's no vantage point. And peep this. It says, also I set a watchman over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet. That's the vantage point. That's the vantage points right there. The watchman, us Akim, us Sibli, we're giving you the vantage point. The vantage point is the sight of the of a clear path of attack. We're telling you, we're giving you the vantage point. We're giving you the clear path for us to combat our enemy, and that's keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, and coming back to our biblical identity as a so-called tribe of Yahweh, tribe of Judah. Talking about the so-called African American, we are members of the tribe of Yahweh. And I don't like to put one tribe over the most, but one tribe over the other, but we were the ruling class. And out of the tribe of Judah came many righteous men. Not saying any other tribe has righteous men, because righteous men come out of all tribes. But the Messiah came out of Judah. The Messiah came out of Judah. And you so-called African Americans need to take that and have some pride and honor in that. Because I know I do. But like I said, we lack hindsight and foresight. People don't peep anything. And it says, hearken to the sound of the trumpet, but they said we will not hearken. We not trying to hear it. We don't want to hear it. We just want to go to the club, get drunk, get high, and eat hot Cheetos all day long. Hot Cheetos and fried chicken. And then some people bread the chicken in the hot Cheetos. So now you got fried hot Cheeto chicken. Disgusting. And that's terrible. Our history is more extensive than just Black History Month. We have a very prestigious and very, very, very. Our history is full of much accolades. They don't even teach us about the Moors. They want you to believe that the Moors were some type of dark Caucasian man. They don't even teach you about the first Christians, who were Jews. They don't even teach you about how before that We were the ruling class on the earth. We are the salt of the earth, and we gotta understand that our history is more than just 1 month out the year. It is more than 1 month out the year. We are the people who have influenced so much history, culturally, event wise. Yeah, we have influenced so much of history. It's asinine to limit it to just 1 month. The shortest month of the year, that's when we get to learn about our history. And then on top of that, you can't trust anything that the white man does. The white man gave us Black History Month. Just to play with your mind. You gotta understand how limiting knowledge affects perception. When you just like it goes, there's 3 sides to a story. Your side, the other person's side, and the truth. We don't even get the truth. We get a small portion of their side, what they think our history is, according to their secular history, not according to anything else but what the white man says. And that's why they are finessing us on every way that possible. They take taxes out of your check. I don't remember ever consenting to taxes. I don't think nobody ever consented to being taxed, especially not the African American. Do you not know at one point still in this country, you are only considered 3/5 of a person? Do you not understand that slavery is still illegal according to the Constitution? Still legal according to the Constitution, saying that you went from being owned by a private owner to being owned by the state. And slavery is a consequence of a crime. And so it's an acceptable consequence of a crime. Just like the death penalty is an acceptable consequence of committing a crime. But we don't understand that. So I'm gonna go to Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. This is Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee. Name me one group of people on the earth who don't have a cultural identity, who don't know where they came from, who don't know who practice who assumed a totally different culture, who have no historical evidence of anything. That's only us so-called African Americans, and then I have to put in the so-called Hispanics and so-called Native Americans, because before the so-called Hispanics and Native Americans came to this country, they were doing something else. Y'all gotta understand that North America, at a certain time in history, there was only, they called it the 3-part world, meaning Africa, Asia, and Europe. It was only until the discovery of North America that's when we had the 4-part world. So yeah, even thyself shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in a land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. And that's plain and simple, man. We went off. We go off to this day. We don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments. We don't keep the high holy days. We don't keep the Sabbath. A lot of our people blaspheme God. And then another thing, y'all gotta stop being pro-black. Stop being pro-black. You have to be pro-black, pro-Hispanic, pro-Native American, pro any minority. Because one thing, and it's gonna hurt a lot of people's feelings, but Hispanics and Native Americans have it way worse than the so-called African American in this country. They have it way worse, and history shows that. Yeah, we was doing our own thing in West Africa, and then we got taken over here. But even before that, the Europeans had already colonized Africa and divided it and appropriated it to the European countries. So yeah, they came and got us and brought us over here on slave ships. I'm not diminishing that, But you gotta think what happened to the Hispanic man. They came here and ran through his shit savagely. And then on top of that, y'all don't understand how Texas became an American state. And it shows you how the white man is a devil. Them devils went over into Texas, which was a territory of Mexico. They didn't want to follow which put them under the jurisdiction of the Mexican government. They didn't want to follow they didn't want to follow the laws of the Mexican government, so they had this big revolt type thing. And that's how Texas was appropriated into a United States state. They went in there and stole it. They went in there and stole that after they stole the whole landmass of South America from the Hispanic. Look at the Native American. This is rightfully their country. They came in there, killed them all, gave them diseases, did what it did, made them bow down to Christianity. Then on top of that, made them get up, walk thousands of miles across the state to where the white man said they could live. And they live there to this day. They're still on those reservations. They're still there. And not only that, Hispanics, I think Hispanics, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're the leading minority in being below the poverty line. Hispanics and Native Americans have a way worse prejudicely than the African American. And that's just being straight up. In my last scripture, I'm gonna go to Psalms 83. This is Psalms chapter 83. It says, Psalms 83, chapter verse 1. Keep not thy silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Letting you know right there, this is a plot. This is a 1,500-year-old plot to make the so-called African American, Hispanic, and Native American a proverb and a byword, and to make them a desolate nation. To make them not to remember who they are. I'm reading again. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. With that being said, man, Black History Month is a joke. Take some time out to learn your actual history, including this Bible, because that Bible is the beginning of the history of the colored man. Matter of fact, it's the beginning of the history of the nation of Israel, which is the so-called African American, so-called Hispanic, and so-called Native American. And with that being said, man, stay on your toes, man. Stay on your toes, because they trying to pull a quick one on y'all folks, man. Like this whole Crown Vic 19 thing, man, is the biggest. They really finessing y'all folks. But y'all gonna keep going for it. And with that being said, Shalom.